Welcome back to Philosopher Nations, the channel where we dive deep into the minds that shape our world. Today, we are exploring one of the most influential figures in philosophy, Søren Kierkegaard, the father of existentialism, the philosopher of anxiety, and a man who saw life as an adventure of the soul. Søren Kierkegaard was born in Copenhagen, Denmark in 1830. He is often called the father of existentialism, although he wasn't quite the same kind of existentialist you might associate with Jean-Paul Sartre or Friedrich Nietzsche. For Kierkegaard, philosophy wasn't just a set of intellectual ideas. It was deeply personal. He wanted to understand what it means to live authentically, and that journey led him into the heart of human existence, faith and anxiety. Kierkegaard tackled big themes like anxiety, despair, faith and freedom. But instead of writing in the dry, academic style of many philosophers before him, he wrote passionately, almost like a preacher or a poet. His works are often filled with paradoxes as he explored the tension between human freedom and the limitations we face. One of his central ideas is the concept of the leap of faith. For Kierkegaard, faith isn't just believing in something because it's rational. It's choosing to believe in something beyond reason, something that gives life its meaning despite the absurdities and contradictions we face. It's about taking a leap into the unknown. And this is where Kierkegaard's philosophy really diverges from traditional religious thought. Faith was not about following doctrine. It was about an intentionally personal and individual experience with God, full of passion and struggle. Now let's talk about two big terms that Kierkegaard is known for: angst and despair. These are emotional states that Kierkegaard explored in depth. Angst, or existential anxiety, is that feeling of unease we get when we confront the sheer freedom of life. When we realize we are responsible for our choices, our actions, and that we have the freedom to shape our destiny, it can be terrifying. It's the realization that we are entirely free to create meaning, but that freedom comes with a deep sense of dread. And then there is despair, perhaps the most profound theme in his work. Despair, according to Kierkegaard, comes from not living authentically. It happens when we fail to align our true selves with our existence, when we live inauthentically by conforming to social norms or ignoring our deeper needs. Despair is the inner conflict between who we are and who we could be. One of Kierkegaard's most famous ideas is the three stages of life: the aesthetic, the ethical, and the religious. These stages are ways of approaching life and existence. The aesthetic stage is all about pleasure, immediate gratification, and the pursuit of personal enjoyment. People in this stage avoid deeper commitments, often jumping from one thing to the next in search of meaning. But for Kierkegaard, this lifestyle ultimately leads to emptiness. The ethical stage is when we realize that life is about responsibility and commitment. We take ownership of our choices, live according to moral principles, and engage with society in a meaningful way. But even this stage can fall short. It is still based on human effort and not transcendent faith. The religious stage is the highest form of existence for Kierkegaard. It's the stage where we embrace our relationship with God, acknowledging that faith and the leap of faith are necessary for true fulfillment. It's a life where we live in accordance with divine purpose, despite the paradoxes and struggles. So, why does Søren Kierkegaard still matter today? Well, his insights into the human condition have shaped not only philosophy but also psychology, literature, and theology. Think about it. Kierkegaard was one of the first to seriously explore the nature of individual freedom and the human search for meaning in a world that can feel chaotic and absurd. His exploration of angst and despair still resonates with us in our modern lives. Kierkegaard's existentialism isn't about despairing over life. It's about the call to live authentically and to make choices that align with our deepest truths, even when those choices seem overwhelming. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Søren Kierkegaard's philosophy, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below. What part of Kierkegaard's philosophy spoke to you the most? Let's talk about it. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep thinking.